All right, and so we're moving along. We're divorced now, single mom, get into real estate, and you're starting to make ends meet. Finally, things are coming together. You come up with the idea of Little Miracles. How'd that happen?
Well, in a nutshell, how that happened was um, when my oldest was a teenager and going through the teenage years and stuff, and he great kid, great grades, good athlete, smart, but I don't know, just struggling a little bit, and I was trying to find something I could bond with him and help him just kind of get outside his own head a little bit. And my at this time, one of my main investors, we had became business partners. I was managing most of his properties, and he had an MLM business actually, but he had a charity in Brazil that did these awesome humanitarian trips that you guys hear about. And I was just talking about my son one day, and he said, "Hey, you guys should go to Brazil on one of these trips." And he started telling me these awesome stories of, great experiences people had had and got outside themselves for a couple weeks and just really just had a great experience. And it got something turning in my mind. Like I appreciated him offering to send us there, but I thought, well, why are these always in other countries? And that's nice. I could go, but I really, it just sparked something within me that wanted, because I couldn't find anything around here to do. And I thought, I want something I can do more than once. I want to do something that can be meaningful. There's got to be something that we can do, and I can invite my other friends to, and
Sure.
this can be an ongoing thing. So when I realized there really wasn't anything that I could find that was going to be something that we could just dive in and get our hands dirty and help out and have a good experience, I just thought, okay, well, let's just make it then.
Let's create one.
I guess, yeah. Just a random, actually, to take it a little further, I was literally coming up with an idea. And because I had been a single mom for several years at this point, I knew the challenges. And I had a lot of passion for that. I was finally at a place where I was surviving, but I mean, for a long time, I just said this to somebody the other day, and I've said it many times, it may or may not have been a family member stressing about financial things. And I said, you know what, that's stressful, but you know what's really stressful is trying to come up with enough money to pay the power company to get your lights back on before the kids are home from school. Because that was me more than once during that time. And that's stress,
That's real stress.
And it taught me a lot. Like, you know what? Like, I can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And it also put things in perspective. I knew how hard I was working, and I knew, considering a lot of divorces, I had a good ex-husband who was involved to some extent, and I knew a lot of people didn't even have that. So I'm like, if this is this hard for me, how is everybody else doing it? Because I was just, I knew I was a hard worker and I was giving it my all, but I thought, how's everybody else doing this? There's a lot of people out there that are single moms, single dads, and it's tough. And what's really hard is it is the kids. It's not their fault, It's not. This is a situation that they're in, not of their own making, and they're the ones who really struggle the most. And I just felt so much compassion for that, and I just thought it's easy for me to want to get behind whatever I can do to help those kids in those situations. So because I had lived that life for quite a while, they're barely getting by and negotiating this bill to cover this and get by here. Once I finally was sort of past that, at least enough that I wasn't on a daily survival struggle anymore, my first thought really was, okay, what can we do? And it was an easy connection for, hey, what would I love as a single mom? I know, real easy. I was talking out loud to another single mom in my office, real estate office at the time. And I'm like, you know what? We should just on a Saturday get together, go let the mom and the kids go have a nice day, and let's just clean the house, do the laundry. I always loved interior design, so people would always ask me to come rearrange their house and give it a spruce up. I love doing that. I don't cook, stuff like that. No one wants me to bake them anything, but that's my gift, right? I can.
I love that you know what you're good at.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm
No,
not gonna
I
make
just,
you anything.
I just say it right up. Nobody wants me cooking them any dinners. But I knew that's my gift. Hey, I can go and clean and organize, and I enjoy it, So we're just talking out loud and saying, that would be awesome. Let's do it, And actually, another agent, a local agent in town who had a local show, popped his head in the door, and he's like, I like this idea. Like, I really think we should put this on my show. I think I was talking about it as if I was already doing it. And he literally calls his camera crew. He booked out the crew for 3 weeks from like right then. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do it. Let's do it. And then I'm like, what are we doing? I don't know what, I had no idea what I was doing. But it was honestly, as I look back, it was just one of those things that was meant to be, because I probably would still be talking about someday we should do that. It just gave me a deadline. So, and I had no idea how to do it, but the intention was there. And with that type of mindset, cleaning, organizing, I mean, that's just energy. I knew I didn't need to raise a bunch of money. I didn't need to do a bunch of stuff. I just thought, and I knew that, sprucing up a house, I mean, if you want to film it, okay, great, whatever. I wasn't sure what we were going to get, but he seemed anxious for some content, is what I was guessing, with how excited he was to just do something different. Literally, the idea was born that day.
Wow. What a great story. So how many years ago? How long ago was
This
that?
month is 11 years ago. This month. Actually, we did it over Halloween weekend.
Oh, wow.
11 years ago. So.
Okay, so
our first one.
We've got the cameras cued. You don't have a project. You don't have anything lined up. You're just like, this is something we should do. How'd you find the family?
Just got on the phone like anybody that, and my first thought was, okay, we just got to find a family. We know people, plenty of people. The idea from the get-go was different than a lot of charities. There's a lot of great causes out there that do stuff for, cancer survivors or, children with disabilities, whatever. This was so different, and it was just, in my mind right off the bat, it was kind of a concept of neighbors helping neighbors. But we want to focus on single-parent families.
Sure.
So who do I know that is really well connected with the communities and who might need help? And I thought of my friend Jenna Davies, called her, told her my harebrained idea. We're of similar mindset. She didn't bat an eye. She's like, oh, yeah, I totally know.
Let's do this.
Yep, she gave me the name. She said, Julie Warner, my son and her son are on the same football team. She is a new single mom, and she has like 3 jobs, 5 kids. She's so great, and I've actually been feeling like I wanted to help her in some way. Like, maybe she'd be great. I'm like, cool. Will she think I'm weird if I just call her? She's like, just tell her I gave you her number. So that's what I did.
So you call up Jennifer.
Jen was my friend. She gave me the Julie was
Julie.
her name. Called up Julie. I said, hey, you don't know me, but
I have a camera crew, and we're ready to go.
We're on our way.
Yeah, I didn't show up with the camera crew the first time. I just asked, I said, I have this idea. Just a
Can I
little
come by?
peon, nobody, but I'm friends with your friend Jen. And I was just like, want to know, can I, maybe it'd be better if I just swing by and chat with you for a second. Are you down for that? So she let me come over, and she probably thought I was crazy, but I just asked her, can we clean your house on a couple Saturdays from now? And, if we could do a little more, what else would you do? What could we do? What do your kids like to do? If you guys went away for the day, what would you like? So I just started chatting with her like that. And she started telling me, she was apprehensive, but I looked around, I could tell, it's really easy when a single mom or dad, but you're carrying the burden, the roles of what's meant to be for 2 people.
Right.
And you're working
The homemaker.
these jobs.
Right.
And you're working
Yeah,
and taking
and
kids here and there. And
the first thing to go is the house.
Yeah.
Usually. Especially for a good mom, because they're still doing things for their children, and you can tell the yard's a mess, and the house is kind of needing some, there's honeydews, there's leaky windows, faucets, you know, it's
The
easy.
stuff.
It's easy to tell the stuff that we all have, but
So-
it gets behind quickly.
Sure.
So you say, okay, so in a week or two, we're going to come in and we're going to do some things. What do you want to do? So you're telling me that you like gave them a distraction for a day or three?
Yeah. And I basically just said more or less what's a urgent need? Do you have any honeydews on your list? Because I got some friends who know how to do stuff. I don't know. Point out what things
Should
you
be
might
fixed.
need.
Yeah.
So she told me a few things, and then it just kind of went on from there too. Okay, and if we could do more, what would you want? Like some paint? What colors do you like? What do your kids like? It was those kind of conversations. And then it was also like, what do your kids like to do together? What would be a fun day? And honestly, you guys, so quickly this turned from an afternoon, some of my friends coming over to clean and do laundry, just from talking to people, spreading the word. This turned into very quickly like a mini extreme home makeover. I mean, and that I love to tell people is just because there really are so many good people out there. They just need people to tell them who to help.
Yeah.
When to show
and
up.
what do they need?
Yeah. Follow
And-
me.
Exactly. And everybody has something, Everybody has something they can give, something they're talented at, or they own a shop, or their grandma does, or their aunt, or whatever. Okay, whatever it is. We go in every project still to this day, like we did the first, and we don't promise anything, but we say, what could we do if we could?
Yeah. What's
And-
emergent? What's like a big deal? Is the house going to catch on fire if we don't do this one thing? Or
Exactly.
is it going to flood? So you start with like
Like,
the
is
big
there-
needs.
Start with the basic urgent needs.
Yeah.
And oftentimes
see where it
there
goes.
are those. And then we go from there. And then it was literally, we did not have a single meeting. We didn't have a spreadsheet. We had nothing except phone calls and people willing to delegate and help out. And we just broke it down in little pieces and had a volunteer for this piece, different rooms. Okay, we got the kids' names. This is what they like. Here's a picture of their room. Go to town.
If that's all you.
Yep.
And then you would find, of course, you had tradesmen coming in that
Yeah.
were like, oh, I got some paint. We could do the painting or
Oh my gosh.
or carpet.
We got all new flooring.
Oh my goodness.
We ended up having new countertops donated, all new doors. Her doors were really bad shape. We had,
And this is a home, like it's a single family home.
yeah, it's a single family home. It was older. It was in Murray, and I think this maybe built in the 80s or something like that. And just typical wear and tear, but especially of a single mom who'd been behind. There was a lot that needed to be done.
So if I'm going to put in, and this is just how my brain works, like, okay, I'm going to get new flooring. Everything has to get out of the house. Everything has to leave.
Yeah.
You took everything out.
Yeah. So, if you've
Emptied
never been to a
everything.
project, you don't know the energy that is created from the chaos of it. It's not for everybody. People who are like, some people come and show up and they're like, this is insanity. And we've learned ways to do it better. But my first thought was when I had people saying, I want to, because they saw pictures and she really did need new flooring. She needed some of these things and people were, I want to donate this. I want to help with this. So it turned into, hey, what if you guys went overnight? And because we need a little more time than a Saturday afternoon. So we sent them off on a Friday morning, and then they
Crews
went
show
up to
up.
Park City
Yeah.
for the night, for the day of the night, and then came back on Saturday evening. And we had crews in there first thing Friday morning, dumpster, tearing everything out. And I mean, that first project, and it's funny, I look back and I think, did so many people, we had at least 100 volunteers.
Oh my goodness.
And we were working round the clock pretty much on that one. Because it was our first one and we hadn't got in early. I didn't have a project manager like I do now who's a contractor and he can give me all the measurements and then we can,
Figure it out.
be real organized. We weren't like that. This was very, very chaotic, but it was honestly so fun. Everybody that was there was actually so excited to be there and just happy to be doing it and created a fun energy. We were there all night. I mean, it was crazy, but we had to be to get this thing done. And it was just, I had actually come up with a name for the charity right before this project, but I learned in that project that the name was honestly like not a coincidence because my business partner who was helping me kind of at the time, he was good about branding and he kept saying, he had a home inspection company, and he was thinking maybe we name it after, even though it was my thing, he was trying to help me, and he had good ideas, but thinking we should name it after the home inspection company and, get some, but it didn't feel right because I didn't want it to be focused on like homes always.
Right.
And I said, no, because it's not about that. It's just like all kinds of things, just like little miracles all over. And I was like, that's what it is. That's what it is. Because it's, the home is central to the peace, and, it's very important for a single mom, for that to be like a sanctuary.
Secure,
The
safe.
security that the kids feel. We wanted the kids to walk in their bedroom and have something that represented them and feel special. That was important from the get-go. And the mom to feel like, I have a place, a sanctuary. My kids feel safe here. They can come here. There's things for us to do together as a family. That's so important. But I also knew it wasn't the focus somehow. Like I wanted to, the name I just loved because it just represented things beyond a house. You know what I mean? So I noticed that right off with the first project when we would tell people, hey, what's your gift? Just show up with your gift, whatever. And it was oftentimes things not related to a home, but like, they knew how to bake bread really well. Oh, people knew how to organize. I'm going to come and teach the kids how to do jobs and organize. They had these ideas I never even thought of. People that did guitar lessons. Hey, I want to offer 6 months of free guitar lessons to their children.
Wow.
I mean, I never would have thought of those things.
Sure.
But that's why I was like, I love that the name came to me, because it's not, if it was always home, wouldn't it feel the same? But everyone has something, so it's really so much more than that. And that started naturally, just the very first go around.